It is day number 115 of the self quarantine today here in Los Angeles. And let me start by saying it's very hot. Summer has finally arrived here in LA. I can sincerely say that. It's been nothing but 90 degrees, high 80 degrees all around LA. And unfortunately, I just have to bear with it. Even with no AC in my house, I have the windows open, I have the fan on, but it's been a very hard time to fall asleep because just the heat keeps me up. But I will have to do my best to overcome this obstacle. But there's a lot of news that has been going on here in Los Angeles since the 4th of July weekend, and I want to break it down little by little. So, first off, I wanted to talk about something that has been going on in universities and colleges. Particularly, this has to do with international students. So, this is coming from ICE, or better known from the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So, they said international students who are pursuing degrees in the United States will have to leave the country or risk deportation if their universities switch to online only courses. So, man, that is just tough news for international students. And I had a lot of friends back in college that were international students, and I know how hard for them it was to get the visa, to pay the funds, to come here to the United States and study. It's never an easy thing. And I did it too. I even went to Germany to study abroad, and it's never easy. And particularly when there are these certain circumstances of the pandemic, um, there has to be some sort of loophole or something because it's unfair to them. It's not their fault that this pandemic happened, but it's just these circumstances. And unfortunately, they're saying like their visas is not valid if they do online classes only. They would physically have to go to class, but that isn't likely, and it's not going to be happening anytime soon, especially here in California, because all of the universities and colleges have said that they're going to switch to online classes only. And because if you've ever been to a college class, it's usually a very big classroom, 200 to 400 students, and then one professor. It's just too many people in one single room. It's just not going to happen. And it's just tough. It sucks. That's all I have to say. It sucks. And I hope that some sort of agency comes to their rescue and like defends them, because it's not their fault that they have to go through this unfortunate episode and period, that now they're between a rock and a hard place, where now they're being forced to go back home, and now they have to spend extra money to go back home, and there's even places that they're not even allowed to go back home. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully they get better news. Another news that was also announced today was that all the beaches in the Los Angeles County have been reopened. If you remember, they were closed during the 4th of July weekend, but now they're open. But they're still saying implementing the COVID-19 guidelines. So they all have to do social distancing, they have to make sure they keep walking, do not stay in one place, and then so on. And then one of the most important news that was reported today, and this was from the Los Angeles Public Health Department. They said that on Friday, it was the largest number of COVID-19 cases in a single day since the start of the pandemic here in Los Angeles. Over 3,100 Angelinos were tested positive for COVID-19, and that's very unfortunate news. But they saw and they said that it was going to happen because of the behavior of Angelinos, that they were not following guidelines. So, regarding the coronavirus here in Los Angeles, the number of cases and deaths has risen to more and higher numbers. So, the number of cases has risen to over 116,000 cases, and the number of deaths has risen to 3,500 deaths as well. So Los Angeles is still during that color coded system. If you remember, it's still on level orange, so it doesn't look like it's gonna end anytime soon. on the rise and spikes of COVID-19, and a lot of the public health departments and a lot of the medical scientists have been talking to different hospitals around Los Angeles and warning them that there will be probably a huge surge and spikes of COVID-19 cases that are going to happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks, as things are progressing into a very unhealthy and dangerous level of COVID-19 cases. Because they said, just like Memorial Day started the spike of coronavirus, the 4th of July is looking to do the same thing, but even a bigger number. So hopefully they are wrong, but they are telling the hospitals prepare for the worst, because the worst might be coming sooner rather than later. So there hasn't been any good news, unfortunately, but it is what it is of what's going on here in Los Angeles. So that is it for today's video. So everyone, stay strong, stay safe.